State. Well, that means that impression is out there that there's some manipulation of the judiciary, because something, I mean, if there was a subsisting court judgment, from whence comes this one again, removing the Akeh-led group?
Thank you very much. What Professor Wole Soyinka said, in my understanding, is setting a general principle that the judiciary should be allowed to do its job without interference by any other arm of government. He didn't say, in my understanding, that Mr. A or Mr. B was manipulating the judiciary. Being that as it is, in this case, particularly as we have in Rivers State now, who is manipulating the judiciary?
Was there a subsisting court judgment before this one that removed the Akeh-led group?
There was none.
But the Rivers State government says there was.
There was none. Why didn't they say so before the court in Abuja? If you had that evidence, you should have tendered it. And I'm sure the court in Abuja would not be unmindful of the fact that the judgment had existed. That would have been taken into account. But being that as it may, my take in all of this is that it is not enough to appear before the media to begin to humiliate and bully the judiciary or a particular judge that has functioned officially, having vested with appropriate jurisdiction over person, over subject matter, and in fact where the venue has been decided. My take is, if all parties before a court have had the opportunity and exhausted all remedies open to them and canvassed their case without hindrance, if that court eventually goes ahead based on the facts, evidence, and the proper application of relevant principles of law, reaches a conclusion, my take is simple. As a lawyer, my duty is not to go and begin to berate the judge and begin to abuse the judge and begin to call in names. My duty is to advise my client, I will pursue your right further. As is permissible in civilized situations, I will take your case to appeal. In this case, the Amaechi group or the GU Akeh group is gone on appeal. And as God will have it, the appellate court will be a secondary court for this matter. At least 3 judges will sit over that matter. So if the first judge has erred, the natural thing to expect is that 3 judges sitting at an appellate level will be able to find the wrong which the first court is alleged to have committed. But to come home and begin to hire people to protest, abuse judges and call their names and all that is unethical, is shameful, and is very embarrassing. But let me even say this. You cannot select which court order to obey and which one not to obey. You must be bound by judgment of God, no matter how perverse that judgment may be. It remains law, it remains judgment, it remains enforceable until it is set aside. You will agree with me that in 2007, Governor Chibuike Amaechi was imposed on the people of Rivers State by the Supreme Court.
Imposed?
Yes, he was.
But I thought you said if there's a judgment, you
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that he accepted it. The people of Rivers State.
No, but it couldn't have been imposed.
If
it was a court judgment. You can't use the word imposed.
Okay, let's put it this way. The Supreme Court allowed Amaechi, who didn't contest the election, to be the governor of Rivers State. Put it that way.
No, but
we obeyed.
It was on the principle that the Supreme Court gave that judgment. The parties that the ones who provide. So if you say that, it comes across as though the Supreme Court erred in their judgments.
The people of Rivers State did not vote for Chibuike Amaechi in 2007. They did not vote for him.
The people of Rivers State do not vote for individuals, they vote for parties.
That is what the Supreme Court told us. But I'm saying that when that judgment was given...
But as a lawyer, aren't you supposed to go with the judgment of the Supreme Court?
That is what I'm saying, that when that judgment was given, Omeya, for instance, who was the then governor, did not go to the street hiring people and asking them to protest, or begin to pull down structures, or begin to abuse the Supreme Court, or even the people of Rivers State on their own submitted to that judgment of the Supreme Court and welcomed Chibuike Amaechi, as the governor of Rivers State. So how come now that the decision is against a camp that you believe is loyal to you, heaven is falling? That is what I'm saying. Whichever way it goes, let the judiciary, let the sanctity of the judiciary be maintained. That's my take.
So for some time now, we've been talking about the judiciary, trying to look at what truly has been happening in judiciary. If the Nobel laureate, as well as so many other people, just yesterday, 10 governors took to the streets to protest or otherwise take sides with what exactly is happening in Rivers State. They say well, they still see some kind of hand somewhere in the crisis in River State. But you say, well, that shouldn't be the case.
Well, I don't know what their interest is.
Or you don't know what they have seen that you haven't seen.
I don't know what they have seen. But
10 people seeing something means a whole lot of concern for people.
10 people seeing something is not enough to overrun over 1 million Rivers people who are saying that there is something wrong with the style of Amaechi's administration. And indeed the way the PDP is running the state.
Is that why this court judgment came?
That is not the reason, of course. What I'm saying is that the court judgment has been there. The parties were given opportunity to canvass their case.
You say 1 million people. Have those 1 million people taken to the streets?
The people have been saying clearly that the way Amaechi has been carrying on in River State is oppressive. And that is why people are jubilating today in Port Harcourt. They don't need to take to the street.
Why have they been saying it? Because, I mean, you mentioned the people that have been protesting, which you say is sponsored.
Nigerians, whether sponsored or not sponsored, have the right to protest. They have the right to air their view. When these Nigerians protest in favor of Amaechi's camp, they are responsible citizens. They are not courtiers. They are not touts. But when they come to the opposite side to say, look, we are also Rivers people. We want to be heard. We want to be involved in the affairs of our state. We do not like certain policies taken by the government or by the House of Assembly of a state or whatever. They become thugs. They are being called names. They are being humiliated. And this has been the trend.
Being humiliated by who? By those
Of course, by the state government.
Are you a member of the PDP?
I am a member of the PDP.
Well, what really is happening within the PDP in River State? Because now we have factions already.
I don't know about the existence of alternative factions. We have one party in River State.
You haven't heard about, they say, the wicked, those who are loyal to him, even about 3 members of the House of Assembly. We read it every day.
I'm saying that today in River State, there is one PDP led by Honorable Felix Obuah, by virtue of the court judgment obtained in Abuja. That judgment has not been overturned. Everybody should respect that until it is overturned. That's the point I'm making. But clearly, sir, you asked me the question about what is the problem usually with River